All right. Good morning, everyone. Is the sound okay? Do I need to move it?
No, it's good.
We're good? All right. Well, good morning and welcome on this chilly morning. And welcome to those of you watching on Zoom or YouTube later on. As many of you know, my name is Morgan Ringelspaw and I use they, them pronouns. If you've never been to Westside Unitarian Universalist, let me first say welcome, and we're so glad you're here today. Westside is a community where people can come as they are, whether that be our traditional Sunday's best, yoga pants and sweats, or our Halloween costumes. A few announcements before we get started. This weekend is our last in-person service. Starting next week, we will be streaming live to YouTube with our Zoom coffee hour following the service. We do still have Zoom coffee hour today, so if that's something you wanted to go home, log on, or if you're on Zoom already, just stick around for that. We do still have Zoom coffee hour today. If you have any questions about the YouTube service or Zoom coffee hour, anything like that, feel free to send us an email or talk to someone here. We can get you in touch with the right people. We also have a common read book right now called The ABCs of LGBT by Ash Mardell. Some of us read it earlier in the year and discussed it during Thursday night discussions. We are continuing those discussions and we will be having an afternoon Zoom conversation on December 5th. So make sure you mark your calendars and look forward to more information on that. We do have copies of the book to loan out should you also need that. Next week is also our annual retreat to Pickett State Park. The retreat will be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you are interested, email the office, Reverend Carol, or see someone after the service. And again, we can get you in touch with the right people. For those of us who aren't in Pickett on Sunday, we will be having a service on YouTube. You can also go up to Pickett just for that Saturday. They do have the covered picnic area for that as well. Are there any other announcements? Yes, Suzanne.
Might want to remind people that when we switch to indoor, it's going to be 11.
Yes, when we switch to the YouTube streaming, it will start at 11 o'clock, not our 10. So you can sleep in a little bit, make breakfast, join us at 11 for the YouTube services. Thank you, Suzanne. All right, so today's chalice lighting is an Irish Halloween blessing found with just a quick search on Google from irishcentral.com. I'm going to read the little blessing and then I'll light our chalice for us. At All Hallows Tide, may God keep you safe from goblin and puka and black-hearted stranger, from the harm of the water and the hurt of the fire, from thorns of the bramble, from all other danger, from will-o'-the-wisp haunting the mire, from stumbles and tumbles and tricksters to vex you. May God in his mercy this week protect you. So Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. Here in the US, it's the day we allow ourselves to believe in magic and monsters. It's the day we allow ourselves to be superstitious and suspend disbelief, if only for a moment. Growing up, Halloween was a night of escape as we put away our mundane muggle struggles and put them on the shelf and indulged in our imaginations. Today, I'm going to ask that we take a moment and indulge these imaginations once again. As with any Halloween day, there's also candy up here for you to enjoy if that helps further the imagination indulgence. Before we do that, however, I want to talk about the basis of Halloween as we know it today. Historically speaking, our traditions of Halloween come from a variety of festivals, rituals, and days of remembrance. Last Sunday, Reverend Carol held our All Souls service. It's a time to remember the friends and family members who have passed from this life. We can trace the history of Halloween back through All Souls Day, When children would go a-souling, they would ask their neighbors for soul cakes in exchange for praying for the families dearly departed. This practice was originally done by the poorer citizens, as food was growing scarce now that the harvest season was over. In roughly 1000 AD, All Souls' Day was created out of the blending of the previous All Saints' Day and the Celtic festivals for the dead, known as Samhain. Now, Samhain was considered the start of a new year for the Celtic people. The days were growing shorter, it was getting darker earlier, it was getting colder, and crops were all collected for the year. It was a time when things began to die out. The trees shed their leaves, and animals hid away in hibernation. Samhain marked the division between the lighter half of the year from the darker half, but was also the division between this world and the next. With the hours of light dwindling, the Lord of the Dead, known as Dawn, was able to more freely roam about the land. It is thought that the world itself became a kind of in-between place on Samhain. Samhain was neither in the realm of the dark nor the light, neither this year nor the next. The divide between the dead and the living was less clear, and spirits roamed alongside dawn. As such, the Celtic people incorporated a number of rituals of protection in Samhain celebrations. Families would extinguish their hearth fires, acknowledging the temporary power of the darkness, and communal fires, sometimes containing the bones of sacrificial animals, would be lit. The largest of such fires was held at Clochta in the Boyne Valley in Ireland. Once that fire was lit, the household fires may then be relit, signaling the coming return of the light and the start of the feast. Food and drink would then be prepared for all participants, including the ghosts that may be in attendance. Ritual offerings were left for the spirits of the ancestors, with the fires lit all night long to keep them warm. It's also been suggested that our modern practice of trick-or-treating comes from this practice of leaving offerings for the potentially malevolent spirits. By leaving the spirits their treats, hopefully the spirits would be appeased and spare you any future harm done by their ghostly hands. If people left their homes, they wore costumes and masks in the hopes of being mistaken for evil spirits themselves and therefore given a wide berth. Samhain was also a time for divination. With the proverbial veil lifted, it was thought that individuals could get a glimpse of their future on this night. Crossroads, bridges, and property lines were popular hangouts for spirits, and it was thought that a careful observer may see those who would die in the coming year. Graveyards could be walked backwards for a glimpse of the future, and young girls could see their future husbands in the mirrors. Of course, in doing this, you run the risk of seeing your own death in your future or running across the devil. These methods are but of a few ways divination may occur. In modern adaptations, divination can take the form of tarot cards or oracle cards, runes, the reading of bones, and so many more. Sometimes reading your horoscope or pulling a card to predict your day sounds like an absolutely silly thing. How would the positioning of stars help us know more about ourselves? I feel when we ask this, it can be akin to wondering why jack-o'-lanterns or scary costumes could ward off evil in your next year. Maybe if we leave just enough of the right treats, put out the candy dish for the spirits that come trick-or-treating, we will have fortune in the new year. Personally, I think superstitions come from the need to have a reason for the unknowable, to have order for the chaos. We need superstitions to give us a reason for something bad to have happened to us, and we need ritual as a way to prevent it from happening again. Some superstitions that have trickled into our modern lives can be seen, especially in cold and flu season. If someone sneezes, we say,
Bless you.
Bless you. This practice is rooted in the belief that when we sneeze, evil spirits would be able to enter your body. By asking God to protect them, that is, asking the longer, may God bless you, we are attempting to ward off sickness and evil spirits from our friends. Many tall buildings do not have a 13th floor because the number itself can sometimes be seen as an ill omen. I have my own personal superstition that the fortune inside of a fortune cookie cannot be read until the cookie has been consumed. Otherwise, the fortune won't come true. As humans, we have this innate need to have reason and order. We want that illusion of control, a way to predict and manipulate the uncontrollable. Some of the key tenets in modern witchcraft, and I use that term very loosely, are centered and structured in a way to help us seemingly command the universe and change our own lives. Doing energy work usually involves a time of intention setting, where we set the expectations for ourselves. What do we want to see come from our efforts? We may research our options. What crystals or plants help invoke what I would want to manifest? We plan our next steps. How do I take these helping tools and use them to create the magic I want to see? Some of you may remember at the most recent water communion, we had the jars of water to be blessed by the full moon. If you weren't here for that and you would like some, I do still have some of the water communion jars. When the water has been blessed by the moon, it's absorbed the energy from it. It's said to be useful in manifestation. That is, by using the water in ritual where you focus your intentions and energies in a desired outcome, reaching your goal seems more likely. During that service, I mentioned that I don't know if the water actually changes the course of my life, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And it's true. It would be illogical to most people for us to believe that this small jar of water purchased at a craft store and filled with water from the church sink has somehow changed my life. I can, however, tell you that it has helped give me a tool, a reminder to take a moment and think, what do I want from life? Is it a new job? Am I looking for a community or connection? Do I want to help affect social change? Or do I really just want to make it through this next portion of my life? What do I want to manifest? I invite you to close your eyes, or if you would prefer, find a place to rest your focus. Take a deep breath, drawing air into your belly, expanding outward. As you exhale, allow your mind to relax, to shake free of the constricted patterns we force on ourselves. Let go of judgment. Allow yourself to indulge your imaginations. Suspend those moments of disbelief and just simply be. What kind of world, what kind of life could you lead if you had magic? If just by thinking about it, you could make a rock levitate or turn a light on or off. If we could bend a spoon with our mind, if we could transfigure a mouse into a teacup, what kind of things would you believe in? What would you believe possible about the world? What would you believe to be possible from yourself? When you're ready, you can open your eyes. When I tell people I consider myself a witch or that I believe in everyday magic, people imagine something from Hollywood, something like I just described, impossible feats of levitation or transfiguration. What I believe in, however, is this idea of manifestation. The idea that when we set our intentions on something, guided by tools to help us focus our energies on these goals, we can change our world. Think about those impossible feats you were just contemplating. If we believe in those out there possibilities, what can we believe in ourselves? I do believe I can make it through this hard time in my life. I do believe that we as a community can withstand COVID as a pandemic. I believe we can make it through the coming winter, and we can make it through this night where spirits may walk the earth. Just as the ancient Celts created rituals to help ward off the evil spirits and welcome their ancestors, this magic, this belief in myself and in those around me doesn't just spring up from nothing. It takes cultivating the right spell, setting the intentions before you do the work. What do you want to accomplish? Gather up the tools that will help you. Rosemary and sage, rose quartz or obsidian, or from our children's stories, eye of newt, and dead man's blood. What ingredients can aid you in your bit of everyday magic? What actions can then you take to enable this magic into your life? Maybe it's adding your moon water to your cup of tea, or a dedicated ritual asking for guidance in the universe. Perhaps your bit of everyday magic is pulling a tarot card and letting it be the prompt to reveal a secret truth about your situation. What knowledge can you receive from the universe through these magic tools that will enable you to manifest your intentions, to turn your wishes into reality, to perform magic? At our water communion earlier this year, we talked about the intention setting with moon water. I took my jars home and moved one for myself to the altar table that I have. I set up the intention of working diligently to get my career in mental health. I wanted to do well in school this semester with the hopes that I would hopefully find a job in the next few years where I could actually help people. I could leave customer service and enter my chosen field. Now, earlier this morning, I mentioned my fortune cookie superstition. I've given services before involving my belief that sometimes these little scraps of paper come at just the right time. A few weeks after our water communion service, I went on a trip to California to reset and recharge. In the airport, I stopped at a popular Asian chain food restaurant where I got my fortune cookie. I've taped this one into my journal. It reads, as a way out of financial mess is discovered as if by magic. I chuckled about the mental image of a bag of money falling from the sky as if in a cartoon and just went about my day. Another week or so passes and our situation changes. I need to be available in the afternoons for my son, Adam. My job situation is changing and suddenly I would need to go through an intense training and schedule change to keep my current customer service employment. It's quick with zero warning. And suddenly, I find myself quitting my customer service job. Within a week, I have 4 job offers, all working in the field of mental health. I ended up taking a job with an alcohol and drug abuse recovery facility. I sit with clients and I'm essentially there at the sober living home to make sure that they are safe and to be there so they have someone to talk to. I sit with them in the evenings, say good morning to them when they wake up, and am generally just there for them. Within 2 weeks of my working there, I was saying goodbye to 2 of my clients. As I hugged them and told them how proud I was of all of the hard work they had put in so far in their journeys, and how humbled I was hearing their stories, they thanked me for being there. My mentor at this position told me I truly am changing lives. I'm not saying that the fortune cookie and the jar of water magically changed my life with a puff of smoke and a few words of jumbled Latin. I am, however, saying that the fortune cookie and jar of water allowed me to take steps I maybe wouldn't have. It allowed me to focus my energies, to see opportunities, to take my desire to help others in a mental health position in a few years and speed it up. Isn't that worth believing in suspending disbelief for? As we go into the next week, the next month, the next season of darkness, I invite you to consider, what are you willing to believe in? What ways may magic show up for you or allow you to believe in the impossible? I'm going to close our service today with a Samhain prayer that I found online. Samhain is here, cold as the earth. As we celebrate the cycle of death and rebirth, tonight we speak to those through the veil. The lines between worlds are thin and frail. Ghosts and spirits in the night, magical beings rising in flight. Owls hooting up in a moonlit tree. I don't fear you, and you don't fear me. As the sun goes down far to the west, my ancestors watch over me as I rest. They keep me safe and without fear on the night of Samhain, the witch's new year. Hope you all have a wonderful week, and thank you. Also, please get this candy.